Hello Nintendo, Wii here, welcome to episode 7 of Retro Gamer Week. This week we'll be taking a look at the NES game, Marble Madness. A really fantastic game. It pretty much invented the ball rolling game genre, spawned loads of amazing games like the Super Monkey Ball series for example. Although the game was ported to pretty much every system at the time, today I'm just going to be looking at the NES version. Before we take a look at Marble Madness, take a look at this.
When you're ready for a real challenge, you're ready for Marble Madness. There are deadly steelies, marble munchers, acid pools, digital waves, vacuum cleaners, catapults, pistons, pounding hammers, killer birds, and they're all after you. Do you have what it takes to reach the silly maze where everything's upside down, or the ultimate maze where even the maze moves? Do you have what it takes, or will Marble Madness make you lose your marbles? Marble Madness!
I think it's still a really fun game, really fluid graphics, they're very smooth. It's extremely challenging, there's only 5 or 6 levels. I've never been able to get through all of them, it gets extremely hard. There's traps everywhere, your ball can only fall a very short distance. If it falls anything further than just a few centimetres, pixels, whatever you want to call them, it will just smash open. It's got really cool music, that's definitely a good point to the game. The controls are really easy to get used to, you just use a D-pad to roll the ball around and that is all there is to it. There's loads of different traps in the game, there's things that push the ball up, there's icy sections, there's pipes that send you whizzing through the stage and come out somewhere different completely. It's got a 2-player mode, it's got high scores, it's got challenges. Each level is very different and unique, it's really memorable to play all the way through. It's definitely worth replaying even today, it's still a super fun game. Obviously with the arcade game of the trackball it was a lot more fun to play in the arcade, but they couldn't exactly recreate that on the NES. So I was taking a look at Marble Madness online and I actually found some original game design documents, some original ideas the developers had when they were creating the game, which I think is really interesting, so I'll post a few of them pictures over here for you to check out. They were also inventing a sequel to the game, but unfortunately that never got released. The game originally came out by Atari for arcades in 1984, and the arcade actually had a trackball, which was a really unique way of playing the game. And they came up with this way of showing off the 3D graphics in an isometric view, but actually drawing them flat so it would look like it's coming out, and that was really hard for developers to try and translate that onto other systems at the time. So I think they did an amazing job to port an arcade conversion onto the NES with like flawless frame rate, all the levels intact, all the gameplay elements exactly as they were originally intended to be played. The designer, Mark Cerny, actually said that some of the inspiration came from mini-golf, from racing games, and also from M.C. Escher's paintings, the way the 3D isometric perspective kind of plays tricks with your depth perception, which makes for some really interesting level designs, and in the documents I found earlier you can definitely see them inspirations coming out. And the racing game inspiration obviously comes from the timer that carries on through each level, making you race to the goal even though you have to overcome certain challenges or obstacles. I did manage to find a little bit of information about Marble Madness 2. Apparently the sequel, Marble Madness 2, was going to be called Marble Man and actually contain a superhero marble. You play as the marble, it can transform into a superhuman for some reason, and there's also power-ups and underwater levels, tropical levels. The graphics saw a huge increase compared to the original. It sounds like it would have been a really interesting game, but unfortunately Atari decided it wasn't worth putting on the market, so they cancelled it. So there was a quick look at Marble Madness, a really infuriating game, but definitely one that spawned an amazing genre and definitely worth a play even today. Thanks for watching, see you in episode 8.